Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in a number of my prior videos, we took a look at some products from the company KTactical. KTactical to me is a company that's a great way to go if you're new to firearms, looking to get started. Maybe you're into airsoft, or even at that, even if you are sort of that seasoned veteran, maybe you just want to try out some gear, see if it's going to work for you, and really not break the bank. For me, KTactical has really gotten me started into firearms with good quality holsters, quality gun belt, and today we're going to continue to move forward looking at some products. So here, in this bag, it is a kit. This is the full tactical belt loadout kit. There's a number of different items in here. We're gonna go through this. It is really a full, complete kit for sort of a tactical belt loadout. Now, a number of different items that have different application for a number of different reasons, but with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at KTactical who did provide this for review. So again, the KTactical Tactical Battle Belt Loadout Kit. Again, a battle belt. This is going to be fully loaded to get you into battle, but with that, it's pretty much a budget item. These are pretty nice for the most part. Everything KTactical so far has been solid. Just good, solid gear. Some of it kind of rebranded, but at the same time does have the KTactical flair. You'll see here a lot of black, a lot of red, some cool stuff, and just a good, solid, basic kit to get you started. Now again, I'm going to say this, even if you're a little bit further along, maybe you want some gear that's just good to try out, see if you like it before you fully invest into a system, or maybe you just want some extra gear to bring a friend along, either way you go, KTactical is going to be a good option for you. And so as we get into this here, a ton of gear. This is a full kit. We're going to take a look at this entire thing. A number of different items for a number of different reasons. Now for me, this is going to be multi-purpose for a multitude of different things. First and foremost, getting me to the range. This actually has something in here that's going to be very useful for that and fills a niche and a need that I currently have. Then it's also going to be something that's fairly flexible for a number of different opportunities. So with that, let's get into all of this gear. And so something to point out, yes, this is the tactical battle belt, but it does not come with a holster. So you do need to pick a holster for the firearm that you're gonna run. Now in this case, you'll notice this is for the SIG P320 right-hand draw, and this should be an outside the waistband holster. So here you'll see the SIG P320. Now, this is something that I needed. I do not have an outside the waistband holster for any of my firearms, and here in this case where I do have in my possession a SIG P320, I will definitely need that. And as you look at this here, KTactical does a wonderful job with their Kydex. I've used them in the past for my SIG P365, and here again, this is an outside the waistband design for the 320. It's pretty awesome where this ends up with a nice wide buckle capable of really going onto a 2.5-inch webbing belt. That is just monstrous. So pretty quick here. This should fit in here nicely, and it does. A good positive click. Now what I can tell you is this does need to be adjusted. It is a little bit loose, but with the little like retention screws here, you can tighten that down. It's going to squash down nicely, and this is going to be absolutely perfect. Full trigger guard protection. The nice clip on the side, this should work fairly well. And as we take a look at it here, you'll notice here it does have a little bit of adjustment, and on top of that you have this spacer which should be able to come out. I'll get into this in a little more detail fairly soon, but I believe that comes right out of there to give you the full depth of the webbing, or if you want you can run it on a thinner belt. So for an outside the waistband carry, this is going to be nice, and that just pretty much clips down and into place there. So very firm snap this is going to be just about perfect. So again, KTactical, their Kydex, very nice. On the outside, it's black. On the inside, the KTactical sort of red. So as I mentioned, getting into some of that red and black right away, this is going to be awesome. Now as we move forward, one of the main pieces here, the actual battle belt itself. So again, you can see everything packaged up here. This is going to be, for the most part, a 2.5-inch black webbing belt with a little bit of red accent in a couple of places. As we get into this, you can see a nice aluminum Cobra style buckle. Here you can see it's pretty much like a Cobra buckle for the most part. Seems to have a nice click, very easy to operate, no problem. So that's going to be nice. Then around here you can see the KTactical logo there with the nice little patch. Again, just a little bit of an accent with the red, nicely done. Good quality webbing. And KTactical, so far from what I can tell, does a nice job with all the stitching. I haven't seen any problems. So here you go, all the way around. Very nice. You end up with that laser cut molly. So very nice. And in terms of padding, well, on the inside here, as we get a good look at this, nicely padded, almost like a neoprene. So it's going to be well padded, and at the same time, hopefully it wicks moisture away just a bit. Now, there's not a lot in the way of ventilation, but not a problem. Bottom line is nice and padded, and especially if you're carrying a lot of gear or a bunch of weight, that's going to work out nice. Now you do have the ability to pull this away with Velcro. So if you ended up with a different type of belt, or you wanted to actually attach this to more of an inner belt, you can certainly do that. Now this does peel away pretty much almost entirely, but gives you the ability to adjust this. So pretty good amount of adjustability. I'm curious to see how this works out for me, where I do end up with, I would say, just a fairly thin waist. I'm about a 32-inch waist. So we'll see if I can get this tightened down to an appropriate tightness. Continuing forward, this is very simple, a very simple item, yet at the same time, very useful. A nice little dump pouch. So this, again, can go right on the side of the battle belt. You end up with the KTactical logo, that little bit of red stitching on the inside here, just a red liner. Now, I can tell you already, where this does have the molly attachments, I can find about 110 ways to use this. Let's be real, a dump pouch, very, very practical for a number of reasons. Where I am going to use this is on the shotgun range. I'm going to shoot myself some trap, and you better believe I'm going to get my shells in here ready to go. So as I go between my stations, I'm going to have my shotgun shells right in here ready to go. It looks to me like this should hold about 25 of them, which gets me through a round of trap. So this is going to be pretty cool. I am going to put this to use pretty much right away. Now, speaking of holding ammo, here you can see this is a soft magazine pouch. So as I open this up and get into this, again, the KTactical colorway, the black with the red accents, very nice actually. This feels really good. You end up on the back here with some of the molly connectors, so the ability to get this, again, on the laser cut molly on the belt. A little bit of adjustability here. You can see you have the ability to sort of tighten this down, and it is going to be more appropriate for an AR style mag. So very cool. I definitely like this. It's a bit rigid yet soft at the same time. This should be pretty interesting. Now, personally, I just don't have any rifles that take this size of a mag. So at this particular time, it's a little less effective for me, but I also have other things that I could potentially use this for. So just because I don't have the exact magazines to fit in here doesn't mean it's not useful to me. Moving forward, as we open up here, well, this a little more useful to me. This here is more of the standard size mag for a handgun. So here you can see a mag holder, which is definitely cool, and a couple different ways to potentially attach this. Here you can see this is made to go on that molly webbing, or you can change it out for more of a belt style attachment. That's absolutely awesome. I did not expect this to come with multiple attachment methods, and the fact that it does is just great. Getting this mag for the SIG P320, fitting it in there, good retention. There's no way that could possibly come out, but at the same time, definitely if this is on your belt, should come out with ease. So very nice retention. I actually greatly like that. I think it's going to work very well. Nice little accent, and the way they did this, definitely cool. So you end up with that stay on the side, but the elastics going through, so just a little bit of flexibility where every mag you have is going to be a little bit different. This is going to work out just fine. So the ability to get it in there nice and secure, yet really retrieve it quickly if you need it, that's going to work out perfectly. And in this box, well, you get not just one, but two. So definitely awesome. I like the fact that you end up with a couple of these. Very useful, working out very well. So if you go to the range and you're practicing your mag changes, that's going to work out very well. And then again, if you get into something a little larger like the rifle, here you go. So this battle belt coming pretty well loaded, and I like that. Now, as we continue on here, the first pouch we looked at was a dump pouch. This is a little more for, like, say, a medical pouch. You could build this out with some medical supplies, have the basic range supplies that you need. You could definitely put a number of items in here. You could carry some additional ammo if you needed, gloves, all sorts of different supplies. You get some webbing on the outside, which is really cool. And as you look here, there is actually this bit of Velcro, which happens to be about perfect for a morale patch. So again, you do get this KTactical morale patch. Definitely cool. So a little bit of red on the zipper pulls, decent zippers overall, that nice webbing on the back, the ability to attach this to a pack, attach it to the belt. Very versatile and flexible piece of kit. Now, as we continue through, you can see this does come with a tourniquet. This is another piece of gear that I just really needed. This to me is very useful. Comes with some instructions, so the ability to actually, use this is going to only be as effective as what you know about it. Now, I need a ton of training. That is just personally something I need to do. It's really important. It's almost critical, especially when it comes to firearms. There is zero room for error. That comes with a ton of training, that comes with experience, and the ability to address problems if they arise. So the fact that this has a tourniquet is important. I love that it comes with it. I really need this in my kit, and this is absolutely essential. So the fact of the matter that this battle belt does come with this tourniquet, I think, is a bonus. Now, as we continue to move through here, a couple of final items. KTactical does have a ton of different gear. In this case, you'll see they offer a small flashlight. So a small tactical flashlight, aluminum construction, generally seems fairly sound. Now, this is going to be a budget option, but at the same time, you can see does have actually an adjustable head. So everything from your wide beam to focusing it down. Little clicky on the back, and if I get into here, it should be, I would think, some sort of a AA, which if I grab a AA battery and slide it in there, let's take a look real quick. Yes. So it is a AA battery, very simple. As you can see here, you do have a little bit of adjustability, on, off, and tactical strobe. So you end up with a couple different modes, high, low, strobe. Very straightforward. Now, one thing I can tell you, quite a bit of rattle. That's just a bit of a shame. I mean, again, a budget flashlight, but at the same time, I wish the tolerances inside were a little bit tighter. I never like that. That to me definitely bugs me. It's just a shame. This is actually a very functional size. I love the fact that it's actually very pocketable. It's a nice, small, and just really EDC friendly size, but that rattle, just an indication that it's a little bit cheap. Again, a budget item, but just a little bit of a shame that the tolerances on the inside aren't any tighter. But last but not least, well, here you can see a fixed blade. So a very small little sort of last ditch fixed blade, which is kind of neat. I do like a EDC style fixed blade. So as you can see here, just a nice little sort of, it's a neck knife size, little 3-fingered grip, maybe right in that 3-fingered size range, roughly. Hollow ground, and I don't know what steel this is, but it is, again, just quite a budget option. But it is nice at the same time just to have a little something on you in case you need it. The edge is okay. I'm not going to say it's shaving sharp, but it's pretty sharp right out of the box. You can see they're actually doing a decent little job. It should for a hollow ground knife. A little bit of jimping on top. Some basic G10 bolt-on scales and full tang design, so it will be strong. You end up with that little bit of pry bar type of pommel end, which is kind of cool. So just a neat little knife, last ditch sort of belt knife that you can throw on this battle belt and have it if you need it. So as I get into this here, you can see I'm definitely going to need a little bit of adjustment here. The battle belt coming right out of the box, just a little bit large for me. Now, not a big deal. That's actually a good thing. I will have plenty of adjustment here to get this cinched down. So I just kind of need to pay attention a little bit and get an understanding of how far down I am going to need to adjust this. Now, this is going to be very rigid. You can see here just really stiff. That's exactly what you're going to want out of your battle belt. So that's working out very nice, and this should be just about perfect. So I'm going to take a second here, get it all adjusted, and this should just get rid of a little bit of this excess. And so the next thing for me was getting the holster mounted on the side. As I mentioned, there was a spacer that easily just popped off, and that allows this to fit on the side of the battle belt. Now, one thing that you do need to consider, this is not quite deep enough in the clip to get it all the way around the entire battle belt. So what that means, and if you look at exactly what I did, this is not necessarily a bad thing, but I did kind of need to sandwich the actual clip between the backside Velcro and then the front of the belt. Now, that's not a bad thing where it's going to hold this literally exactly in place on top of everything else. This is completely Velcroed, so it's not going to have any lateral movement either. It will have just a little bit of wiggle room, which is not a bad thing. Overall, this is going to be very secure and sound on the side of your hip. And so again, I am going to have to work on the retention on the holster, but you can see there, no problem, very easy. This is going to definitely have the ability to tighten that down, so I'll probably do that next. Get this a little bit more adjusted just to prevent any possibility of my firearm falling out. Extremely simple adjustment on the side here, just leveraging a Phillips screwdriver. There are two sort of retention points here, so as I tighten both of these down, I'm not going to go too far, just enough, and yes, perfect. That's literally perfect. So now, nice and quick, working out very well. There's no way this could fall out. So comfortable on the side. You can see the ability to get my hand on here with ease. This holster's just about perfect. These mag holders, very simple, very straightforward. Just pinch, slide this little collar out of the way, and then you can see here, this pops out. Now, if you're not careful, you can see I accidentally slid that right off the end. Not a big deal. But you can now get this right onto your molly at any location on your belt that you so choose, which is something I'll probably need to play with just a bit as I get used to this. But you can see here on the back side, right there, pretty quick, no problem. Plenty of room just to buy some space so I'm not banging into things. Buying myself just enough room between these. Now, if I was to practice and get into a routine and wanted to develop some muscle memory, is there one place or another where I would pick to put my magazine? Probably. I actually might be better off putting it on this side so it's right in front of me. Hard to say. Just something to practice. But in the meantime, just going to throw it here for now. But then, of course, remember, I do have two of these. So if I so choose, I can carry two mags if I want. Or this is also a great way to carry this tourniquet. So here you can see I could keep this mag right here on the front, and on the side I could run this tourniquet. So there is probably an ideal way to get this in there. In fact, at this point, I do realize I do need to loosen up this shock cord just a bit. So as I loosen this up, I'm going to buy myself some space, and then I'll get this tourniquet in there. Now, apart from leveraging another one of my mag holders to hold that tourniquet, you could certainly put it in one of the pouches. So you end up with some side pockets here on the pouches. The other thing you do end up with is pretty much this zippered pocket and pouch, which again would make for an excellent medical kit. So this is certainly another option if you choose, but to me this worked out pretty well. It's nice that it's quick and accessible accessible if you need it, and especially where I, at this point, am only carrying a single spare magazine. And so the next thing for me, the pouches, as you can see here, my dump pouch right there, easy on the side. I like having a dump pouch literally right on my side, very convenient, easy to get to. And then that kit right on the back. So even if I had a number of different supplies in here, that would work out very well. And so at this point, as I mentioned, I'm really not going to use the AR mag holster, but as you can see here, keeping it in the small of my back. Now, but last but not least, this little last ditch knife. Now, as you look here, I really do want that sort of weak side, quick draw, crossbody, no problem. But unfortunately, this is the opposite direction. However, the nice thing is this does have some screws. So the ability just to get on it, this is a T8 star bit. So you can definitely back this right off. I'm going to flip this clip around and get it mounted on the belt. And so here you can see just a quick little cross draw right in front. No problem. The ability just to get on that nicely. You could use a number of different knives, but here just using the KTactical EDC fixed blade, very simple right on the front there. Retention is going to be perfectly adequate, capable of holding in place. It's not going to go anywhere. It moves around just a little bit, but that's fine. So overall, you can see this battle belt ready to go. Depending on your firearm, you can get a number of different holsters, number of different configurations and ways you can lay this out. Generally speaking, I have to say, seems to be pretty nice. I mean, some fairly reasonably cheap components. Many of these you can buy as individual pieces depending on your needs. But coming here, this battle belt in one sort of complete kit, definitely nice. And so again, I'd like to say thank you very much to the people at KTactical for providing this for review. The next thing for me, just getting out to the range using this in good practical application. Now, am I going tactical shooting and tactical practice? Hard to say, but I know that certain components on here, very useful and very effective. So from the outside of the waistband holster, again, an add-on piece, but sort of integral to this overall setup. The mag holster's awesome. The small little sort of EDC neck knife fixed blade. The dump pouch, definitely cool. And the fact of the matter is, just having a tourniquet now, that's key. Having some safety and security and the ability just to be safe at the range, that's paramount. So overall, KTactical, nice job. And so if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless channel, which is more on the hiking, camping, and backpacking genre. On that channel, I have everything from sleep systems, shelter systems, knives, axes, backpacks, flashlights, you name it. That's my Outer Limitless YouTube channel. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.